Welcome to Growing Belleville Through Community Chats, a podcast presented by the Greater Belleville Chamber of Commerce to help highlight, promote, and enlighten people, businesses, and community events in the Greater Belleville area. Here are your hosts, Stephen Sedlak and Eric Huber.
Good morning, afternoon, evening to everyone out there. Welcome to Growing Belleville Through Community Chats. This is Eric Huber, along with my co-host, Stephen Sedlak. Stephen, how you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. Like we talked about earlier, man, summertime is here. It's kids are, when this will air, of course, kids will be out for the summer. I'm sure my wife will be ready for them to go back to school by that time, but it is here. It's a great time of the year. So,
yeah, summer's always fun. Kids are out of school. You get about a week or two in, and then it's like, all right, get them back to school. Let's
right.
go. It's time.
That's right.
All right. Well, for you on podcast, you can't see him, but we have the beautiful face of the Miller commercials, Mr. Mark Mueller, Miller Furniture. Mark, how you doing, man?
I'm doing fantastic, Eric and Steve. Thanks for having me on.
Good. Well, hey, obviously we know you real well. For those of you who don't, why don't you give a little history to everybody of who you are and what you got going on?
Sure, yeah. So my name is Mark Mueller. I'm a fourth generation owner at Miller Furniture and Mattress Company. We've been in Belleville since 1927. I was a Belleville East graduate, class of 2000, and played baseball and basketball, and that's where I first met Eric, was, playing baseball and basketball, and, it's been great keeping in touch through the years, and now kind of here we are talking as business professionals instead of professional athletes.
Yeah, and you're still playing. I hope we don't have any Millstadt, listeners right now, because he was already talking about yesterday. Just recently pitched against Millstadt. He says he's always got success. So hopefully we don't have any Millstadt listeners out there that are out for you.
They're good guys. Every year we go at each other, but good group of guys on that team, though.
Yeah, no, absolutely. All right, so 1927. I mean, that's awesome. Probably one of the longest lasting businesses that's been in Belleville. You growing up, you saw the industry, you saw the business. I've always asked this of kind of that generational ownership. Did you grow up thinking that you'd get involved in the business, in the furniture business? How was that when you guys were growing up or involved?
No, at no time, even all the way through junior, senior year of college, I really did not anticipate being in the furniture business at all. I could have used a little bit of a, hey, this could be a good option for you. It was always like downplayed. And that it was, because I guess my parents really wanted us to feel like we, and we did really have a choice to do something else. I've got twin sisters that are older than me, and they both have nice careers and what they're doing. But it was something that I always did deliveries. And, when a guy would be off on vacation or Christmas break or summer. So, I mean, my first delivery, it was December of 97 with my Uncle Roger. And we had to figure out how to get this gigantic recliner through a small Old Town Belleville door. And I said, how in the world are we going to do this? And he said, well, you take your hand here and you tilt it this way. You go around like this. Wow. Holy cow. Okay. All right. And I remember that. And that was the first delivery I ever did, was 97. So it's been a while.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Steven's talked on it too. And even in the banking industry with what I do, commercial business, we talk to business owners and we talk, with the kids of owners and whatnot. And I don't know, it just feels like sometimes it's a little bit better for the kiddos to kind of broaden their, where they go, not get into the business right away, kind of seek what they want to do initially. But like both you and Steven, you guys have both kind of came back to the industry. So I guess at what point were you like, all right, let's, this is an option for me. I like it. Let's dig into it a little deeper.
October of 2004. October 2004. So I had played that summer. So I got a degree in history at Coker College. I played baseball for 4 years, got my degree, played for the Gateway Grizzlies and Mid-Missouri Mavericks in the Frontier League. that summer. So, my old deal was all right, I'm gonna just concentrate on being a professional baseball player, and maybe I can get signed out of the independent league. But also I was applying for law school at the time. And so, I kind of had a gap year basically. And before I could get into law school, so I worked at the store. So I'm at the store, and the warehouse used to be in the basement in Belleville. So now you can go down in the basement. We've got this clearance center. We got a mattress showroom. That was the warehouse. So, I mean, we unloaded all the trucks on Main Street, dollied it up the hill on the parking lot, slid it down the stairs, and dollied it to the spot in the basement. Now, so that was downstairs work. Dad offered me a job upstairs after the end of baseball season. So that was September 1st. And from September 1st through our first half price sale in October, and then after that, and I made some sales. Like I enjoyed working with customers. I had some early success. He sent me to the High Point Furniture Market with our top salesperson at the time. And if I could describe High Point, North Carolina to you, from a size perspective, think about downtown St. Louis from Laclede's Landing and like the TWA Dome, or whatever they call the dome now. we used to play football, and then we don't play football anymore. Kind of. Okay. So from there all the way to Busch Stadium, and every building is a furniture showroom. Just think about the size of that whole area, every room, every building, every floor is a furniture showroom or accessory showroom or something in the home furnishings business. The scale of it is immense. I mean, there's 100,000 people that come in to High Point for 5 days. And besides it being the birthplace of John Coltrane, like furniture is the only thing that anybody knows about High Point, North Carolina. And I just loved it. I loved the people. I saw myself having success. I saw the people that were in this business, and I said, I can be better. I can be better than this. I can win at this. These are not rocket scientists. There's not a lot of motivated people. I see a lot of people resting on the laurels of the last 50 years, of like a supply side, business. It was just like, oh, we'll just make it. It's a bunch of good old boys. We'll just make the furniture and they'll buy it. Okay. But nobody was really doing retail well, in my opinion. And they certainly weren't advertising progressively or using the internet to draw customers. And I had just learned a phrase called search engine optimization, SEO. In 2004, 2005, it was like nobody knew what the heck that was. And I thought, if I can get customers that are researching online to end up on millerfurniture.com, we can do so much more. And that idea, it stuck. It was like Inception. And that was it. I was stuck on that idea, and I knew that I could succeed in this business. And frankly, I didn't think there was nothing else I was sure I could succeed in.
Go ahead, Steven.
I was just going to say, I was laughing earlier whenever you're talking about you had no desire to get into it, because I was the same way. We've had I'm the fourth generation here at our agency, and I had no desire. I mean, insurance to me was what everybody thinks. It's the Ned Flendersons from Groundhog's Day, right? Nobody, everybody thinks it that way. I had no desire to, and then one thing leads to another, and you go down a path. We had a rule. My dad actually had a rule that if you wanted to work in the agency, you had to work somewhere else for 3 years, and then you can come in. Which if I didn't do that, I don't think I would have as well too. And then when I did decide, because at that point it was my decision to come back. I had a sales career elsewhere. I decided to take the leap and come back. So yeah, I think there's that point that I think everybody in family businesses, for the most part, there's some that don't, they want to go do their own thing and prove that they can build it on their own. But when you can come back into the family business and take it to the next level, such as you're doing, I think it just proves it just as well.
Yeah, I definitely didn't want to go out and prove myself in anything else. I wasn't very confident I could do anything else. And then I found I applied to law school 8 different places. I got turned down 8 different places, and that was the best thing that ever happened to me, because this is definitely what I was called to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you're doing a great job at it. I mean, how many, you guys are, what, 3 stores now, correct?
3, and we'll be opening 4 once, so announcement, we're, the weekends only, weekends only's gone out of business, and we are under contract to purchase their Fairview Heights location. We've been looking for a consolidated distribution center for well over a year. And we had several others that we were very, very close to. 3 places in Belleville, and I was really looking to stay in Belleville ideally, and just the deals never worked out for a variety of reasons. The city of Belleville was very cooperative throughout the whole process. They were great. It just didn't happen. And so this building came for sale. So we bought it, and we're going to use it as our, distribution. So the second we go from 3 warehouses and kind of scattered human resources to everybody in one building where we can, have better organization, just more, the facilities will be better. Everything about our furniture company will improve on day one. Then, with that being said, there's another 40,000 square feet that's still open. In that building. It's a huge building. So that's store number 4. We got a plan, and we need a clearance center. So it's going to be, Miller Furniture Clearance Center and Amish Furniture Outlet. It's going to be a fantastic bedding gallery and an outdoor furniture gallery, which is something that's a category of the business we haven't had any space for really at any of our other 3 stores. Belleville, Lake St. Louis, Ellisville. There's no room. And so we're going to have a really, really dynamite outdoor furniture gallery too. Just curious. So do you guys have or do you have, or would you like to have a nice outdoor setting, whether it be a table and chairs, a fire pit, something like a little pool kind of area? Is that something that either you or your like?
We do. Unfortunately, already, that's us. I mean, I agree. I think that's a great thing, because for us, and I think more and more people are coming that way, where they have focused on their outdoor patio, covered patio, whatever it be, especially with TVs now, where you can put them out there. They'd be smart TVs, and you can stream. They don't have to be, we focused on that when I rebuilt my deck a couple of years ago, and we have a TV out there from March through October, we live on our deck, whether, unless it's raining, because it's not covered. But I think that's a great sector to get into, because a lot more people are focusing on that, I feel like.
Yep. Yeah. So, well, awesome. That's, I thought about
customer right there. No, I feel the same way. I think, you look around, and the outdoor patio furniture, nowadays, what is it? It's Home Depot, it's maybe Lowe's, and you're probably paying a lot more for a piece of furniture that, maybe not as quality as you want it to be, but you're spending a pretty dime just because you're buying it from the big box store like that. I ended up building my own table just because I like to kind of do the handiwork outside of my banking 9-to-5 day. So I built my own, because I was like, well, I'll just buy the wood and do the labor myself and build a nice piece of furniture. So no, I think there's, like Steven said, especially with COVID, people, I think, have found a spot at home and found an entertainment spot at home now, and enjoying kind of just that relaxed time with family. So I think it is a market that should be out there, needs to be out there.
Yeah, we want to make this location different from our Belleville location, as far as, it's 20 minutes apart, so there's some crossover, right, as far as customers go. Although in Belleville, we really draw from the Belleville area, and then south and east. Your Mascudas and Freeburg, right, and Smithton and Millstadt and Columbia and Waterloo. Our market share is fantastic in those areas. And O'Fallon's always a fight. It's the Battle of O'Fallon. There's a lot of furniture stores, and there's a lot of affluent customers potentially in O'Fallon and Shiloh, and we're in that battle as well. But when it comes to north, Edwardsville, Glen Carbon, Maryville, Collinsville, Far Oaks and Caseyville, Fairview Heights, places like that. This will give us a lot better access to that customer that isn't necessarily always going to make the drive to Belleville. And so, but we want to keep the store. Some people will think like, oh, we're going to get rid of the Belleville store. And that is the farthest from the truth. We're actually in phase 1 of a 3-phase remodel. So, I mean, we're spending money. You'll notice the new lettering on the front of the store.
Yeah.
Actually, we just did that. So, I mean, we're redoing the front of the store, redoing the window displays. Then we're going to move into some more interior, remodeling, updating the paint. And I've got a really cool project for phase 3. So essentially exposing more of the original 1920 ceiling like we did in the front gallery.
Yeah.
When you walk into the front of the Miller Furniture in Belleville and you look up at the ceiling there, that's original 1920s Art Deco tin ceiling that we restored in 2014 when we redid that whole front area. And it looks so cool. And there's still that ceiling in room 2 as well. Some of it was damaged by the fire in 1978, which burnt pretty much the whole place down. It was almost a total loss at the time. But yeah, there's enough good stuff that we can redo that. I want to knock a hole in the wall, open up the areas. So there's just a lot of opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, when did you guys open up your second location, which was the Lake St. Louis one, right? That was your first next location, right?
Yeah, 2017.
So 2017 was Lake St. Louis, and then when was Ellisville, did you say?
February 2021.
Okay. So you guys you guys went such a long period of time with just one location, and now in a short period of time, you guys have, you're expanding now, like you said, to the fourth one here soon. Kind of what kind of sparked that idea to go out there and to get more locations and do it in such a time period that you've done it?
Well, I've always had that goal. I always saw because your advertising, your spending on advertising is, you're advertising on KMOX or on television. It's going across the whole St. Louis area, but you can only convert a sale in Belleville, one location. So you maximize your, advertising as a percentage of sales when you can convert a sale in multiple locations. So we thought that if we can open up a second location, especially if we can find a building that we can afford to buy, so that we're not renting, so it's a real estate play as well as a furniture play. And Pam Shadwick, God bless her, she found the building in the Meadows at Lake St. Louis. Pam's a longtime Belleville realtor, and she has the eye. I mean, she's got the eye. And I met her through BNI, which is just another great reason to network, because you just never know. There's so many talented people you can meet when you network. And Pam found the building, and I can't believe it was unoccupied for like 3 years. And so we got a great price on it. We opened up, and it just allowed us to do a lot more business without spending a whole lot more money. And that allowed, that really helped. And then furniture sales just continued to boom. And, we decided to buy what used to be Dow Furniture in West County in Ellisville. And it was another situation where, we had looked, and we were going to purchase what used to be the Thomasville store in Kirkwood. And, and Pam and I were trying to work that deal out forever, and it just never worked. It just never, the seller and us just never could come to an agreement, and it didn't happen. And then the pandemic hit. And so we just, pulled everything off the table. And, so once that deal fell through, she walked over there and met the Dows and got them to sell their building. They wanted to sell their building and retire, and we didn't know that. But she just went in there and made it happen, and it's been great. I've become friends with the Dow family. Paul came through a couple months ago. His church was wanting mattress donations for. They work with Oasis International, and they were providing mattresses and beds for immigrants and really refugees from war-torn countries. So St. Louis has a lot of Afghans that have come in, and other, Sudanese. and they need beds. They got nothing. They've got nothing. It's Syria as well, places like that. I mean, they're coming in, they've got nothing. And so we donated, a bunch of mattresses, and, that's just some of the cool things. Like, those are some of those, like, God moments, right? Like, God brought us together and made that deal happen. And now, we're working with Paul and his church to do other good things. So that's really what we're all about. I mean, we're trying to build our business as we're discussing, but we're building it for greater purposes. And that's really what we're all about.
So Mark, I mean, what, Belleville for that long, and then the 2 new stores, buying the building where Weekends Only was, where, in a time where, I don't look around and probably do as much research on furniture stores as you do, but I would like to say that probably furniture stores are probably closing up more than they are expanding. I take the Watsons on 50. I think that's been like 20 different furniture stores out there in O'Fallon, Fairview Heights area. So, what do you think? Kind of, you mentioned it at High Point, where you looked around the room and just said, "Hey, I can do this and succeed." So what do you think the difference is with you guys now really expanding and taking off? What separates you guys from, the competitors out there?
We have more American-made furniture choices than anybody in St. Louis. And that's one of the things from a product perspective. But 2, we're also the easiest to do business with. You always think of your ESTs, your ESTs. I want to be the Americanist, which we are with our product. We want to be the easiest to do business. I want to have the nicest people to do. Do you like to do business with people that are cold and cold fish, or you want to do business with nice people?
Right.
I like nice people, So, and you go shopping in some places and you think that they're doing a favor by waiting on you. And it's like, no, like, you got to be nice to people.
Yeah.
You got to enjoy. And so, me being a sales and marketing professional, I just have really instilled that from the top down, that's just not some companies are run by, people that aren't sales professionals. They're more business managers, money managers, accountants, and maybe person to person stuff isn't their forte. Well, we're run by a people person, myself, and that just cascades down. So everywhere you go, your touch points should be really good, really professional. We know what we're talking about. And we just eat, sleep, and breathe furniture and sales. And like, we want to make it easy for people to do business with us. And our product is, we are truly national class when it comes to product. Nobody does product as good as we do at Miller Furniture. Myself, my dad, before he retired, our sales managers, we've all been to these Amish furniture shops in Indiana and Ohio that, I mean, nobody even knows. You go to talk to furniture majors, they don't even know who these vendors are. And I'm telling you, it's the best furniture made in the country. It's amazing. And you get to do business with other local business. Like, my family is doing business with other family-owned businesses, which means I get tremendous service from my suppliers, and hence you guys as customers get great service because I can lean on my suppliers when I need to. And so there's a lot of real key differentiators. Those would just be a couple. I could talk a lot about how and why we're different,
No, I mean, that's, and I kind of knew the answer with the American made for sure, because I mean that's definitely what sets you apart locally, because no one has that quality around here except you guys, which is awesome.
Thanks, I appreciate that. And the prices are really, when you look at what would be considered a high-end import dining room set or a bedroom set, they're about the same price, and it's not solid wood. You don't get custom finishes. You don't get multiple dresser sizes. You get a lot of choices to customize it for your home. And now, since the pandemic has kind of, gone away as far as its effect on supply chains, we're back to pre-pandemic delivery times on custom orders. I mean, you can custom order things and get it as fast as 4 or 5 weeks. Other times it might take 3 months, but that's what it was in 2019 when you're talking about handmade custom furniture. So it doesn't even take that long to get.
Did the pandemic, did that affect you guys in a positive way more than a negative way? Because, and the reason why I say this, because I know a lot of people started doing home projects during that time, right? They were remodeling, doing that because they had the time to do it. Did, you know, and with those, when you're doing remodels and whatnot, or additions or however, of course, you know, furniture becomes a vital part of that renovation. Did that, you know, affect you guys in a positive manner?
Yes. Anybody that was doing anything, selling anything home related, we had a sales boom. Like, I mean, my dad did this 50 years. He had never seen anything like it. And I doubt that we ever will again, because people, exactly. People didn't have a choice. They couldn't spend their money on anything else. I mean, people ask me, who are your competitors? And I tell them vacations and, you know, swimming pools and sports teams. And guess what? Nobody could spend any money on. They couldn't go to restaurants. They weren't taking vacations. You couldn't go to sporting events. This is discretionary income, you know, like that's what people spend their furniture money on, and they couldn't spend it on anything else. And they were in their house constantly. And so you want to improve what you can and, you know, make it your castle. And, you know, the business is still very, very good and was good leading up to 2020. But nobody could have ever predicted or imagined the sales boom that happened between May of 2020 and I would call it last year in May of 2022. For a full 2 years, never see anything like that again.
I don't think anyone can.
Well,
Anyone will.
We're in a position to capitalize on that with our expansions and everything like that. So, I mean, we used it to, fortify our base and, just have a good, grow, but not get too crazy and just, build a good war chest so that we can make investments like we are right now in this distribution center and fourth showroom. And it'll just make us a better furniture company altogether.
Well, that and the logistics of where you're at for a distribution center couldn't be any better. Maybe on 15 here, like you were looking at one point, would be just comparable to it. But I think that, and I think it's important, as well too, like you said, that people know that you're also investing in the Belleville location to redo that and make that more on par as well too. So we know your guys are big on Belleville and have always supported a lot to do with Belleville. So I know everybody in the community appreciates you guys and what you do.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I was at Art on the Square Saturday, and I got to meet the, Mueller Furniture. We sponsored an artist, so I got to check out his tent, and it was really cool. He did this fancy metal works. It was like aluminum. He crafted. I mean, I would say it would look really awesome in a modern style home, or if somebody has a lot of industrial type of, metal works in their house. I mean, and that's cool. We love to, just sponsor different things and invest in the community and just work with other people. And I mean, that's why we're here. I'm here I'm here. People always say, oh, you're the boss. You don't work for anybody. That is completely not true. I got 55 people that I work for. They're my employees and then I've got the thousands of customers that we have too. That's who I work for every single day.
Well, that's awesome, Mark. Yeah, I mean, I appreciate what you guys have done and still sticking around Belleville and reinvesting, like Steven said. And obviously, appreciate your time here today. Don't want to coming up on, I think, about 30 minutes here or around there. So want to be respectful of your time. And again, appreciate you coming on. And for people to get out there and buy, purchase, come see you, what's the best way? Social media, websites, where you at?
Yeah, we're on Facebook. We post a lot of pictures from our showroom. So if you want to kind of get an idea of what you're going to see, you can always go to our Facebook page. We have a great website, millerfurniture.com. You can kind of shop through a lot of there's literally tens of thousands of pages on there that you can shop product. But the best way is just to come to 1004 East Main Street, where we've been for 96 years, and come on into Miller Furniture. And I guarantee you will see furniture that you've never seen before, and you'll be pleasantly surprised and refreshed that there actually is still good furniture out there. And that's why we're here. Or
if you need outdoor furniture, head to the new location out in Fairview when that opens up.
That's right. That's right.
That's right. Well, hey, Mark, appreciate it. Thanks again for your time. Good luck with everything. Hopefully we get that new store open there in Fairview at the weekends only. So congrats on that. Hopefully everything falls through and according to plan.
Thank you very much, guys. Thanks for having me on. See you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right. See you, man.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Growing Belleville Through Community Chats podcast. Please remember to follow and subscribe to this podcast and share with your friends and community leaders. For additional information from this podcast, please reach out to the Greater Belleville Chamber of Commerce.